I'm not going to use the guy's name because it's just a name and it fits the perfect definition of the kind of person that would say these things. I'm not going to get into anything more than saying that when I go to reach out to people to tell them about the Word of God, I know how they think that sounds because that word has been misused so many times. They don't know what to understand, what to believe, what to think, any of that. And when other people just go around saying stuff like, I am the Christ being awakened, I was Jesus in a past life. And I'm like, well, then what about this lifetime? Then you weren't Jesus this lifetime. If it was a past life and you remember it, then you're just relating to something that happened in this earth phase. And they don't know what that means. But then on top of that, I say, so instead of going around telling people right now in this current time that you were once this person or once that person, I was. And I'll say that to people, but I don't think it makes any sense to really elaborate on it because they're not going to understand that it doesn't matter. Because whether they believe it or don't believe it, I can show them that it adds up with math just by who they are, by everybody that they've ever seen or heard on TV, every word, whether it's physical or a idea, like running. You can see someone running, but someone's mind can be running. So both of those words are both interpreted by the same letter pattern because they mean something in motion and wind and in vibration. I understand the subtle realms, the second dimension, the first dimension, the zero dimension. I understand those. I represent and vibrate from them. And I'm in a three-dimensional world where people have no idea about anything except for what they've heard, seen, and thought about over and over for years and years and years, or for whatever they've had new introduced into their mind, and now what they have stuck in their mind and what they're yearning for or wanting. That's all they're thinking about. And when it comes to truth and what's real, they don't want to think about it. So this guy, he's like, I'm the Christ being. Just calm down and I've never failed before. And I'm like, dude, I just want to know what you honestly have to offer anybody at this current time to show us that you know what you're talking about. And he keeps saying, because I was the Christ, I have the marks. And then he gives me Bible quotes. And I remember writing all the Bibles. I remember writing all the scriptures. So they mean nothing to me because I was all the characters too. And I remember people talking about those other characters as them in other lifetimes. It's just too wild and crazy for anyone to understand because right now I seem to be Dan Alexander, but when I die out of time, I'm still doing everything that everybody's doing at the same time right now. And I can tap into that field where I feel how they feel exactly. But I don't because it not only freaks them out, I don't like it. I don't like diving into people's minds because I can. If you really could, you'd understand the stuff that comes with it. If you really had the psychic abilities, you understand the stuff that comes with it. You wouldn't just rave about it because it sounds cool. You would not tell people because you know how dangerous they can be if you teach them to the wrong person. So this guy keeps saying stuff like, I'm like, so explain something to me. Teach me anything. Like, if you're the risen Christ and you're here to do whatever you're supposed to do as the risen Christ, what are you here to do? What is the purpose? Why are you saying this to people? What are you going to do? And he goes, I'm going to speak the word on the street and be a street prophet. And I say, so then tell me what you're going to talk about. And he's like, I am the Christ. And he just keeps saying that. And I'm like, dude, you sound like a madman raving in the year 2022 about being the Christ. Like, I am a Christ being. My Christ consciousness is awakened in Dan Alexander. I also do remember being Jesus. But at the same time, I remember being hundreds of them in the flesh, not just in my mind, but through time, the course that I'm on right now in this skin. No one can understand that because they don't understand anything but the third dimension and forward. They don't understand the vibrational patterns of the minerals, the rocks, the plants, the energy in the air, the spirit. They don't even understand that. And when you talk about it to them, they think you're weird. But they have to know that there's something inside them moving around right now in their blood. They have to know that when they go to think, there's a subtle dimension inside their mind that's causing thoughts and things to move and give them sensations and ideas. Something's there. It's not their skin. It's not their body. It's something inside them using their body. And when you can understand that level, you can go back farther from that. And when you finally get to understand that level, the most subtle thing where you intuit things, you can actually go back farther from that. And then you understand light patterns and sound patterns. And it's like nobody I've ever met that has ever said anything anywhere, on any video, on any movie, on anything that you can look up in a book, anywhere, has said or experienced the things that I have in depth. And when I go to tell you about them, you'll understand that they make complete sense. And then when I say something about somebody randomly, you'll be able to look it up and find it in a history book. And I'll be able to explain more about them and where they were at this time, this course, because it's not the same every time. When you get to be somebody, you can decide to go this way on that day, or you can decide to go that way on that day. But you're always going to go through the same course, no matter what, until you wake up. Then you can play your ego because that name will resonate to people. So since they're still stuck in the pattern, my name, Daniel Jarred Alexander, means the truth bottled up in a light sender. I mean, that's the best way I can say it so people understand it, because Daniel, just think of the word annual, ANNUAL. You're going from U to A. This one, you're not two N's, it's just D coming through as this moment of now in nature, N, D-A-N, not the den, but all of it, the Dan. And then I, identified, in an E-L, through God, or energy as it lies. So Daniel is truth. And then Jarred, J is a junction of the identity, which is the next letter from I. A is activity. R is reoccurring activity in 666, which equals R. When you add 6 plus 6 plus 6, it's 18. So there's R. And then another R next to it. 18 and 18 is 36. That becomes a concept in form. So an RR on top of itself usually means recognized. On its spot, where it's at, because RR. When you get R and R, when you're at the railroad crossing, it's two things on top of each other. When you have any two letters next to each other, it's that meaning in place. So J is the junction of identity. A is the activity or the action. R is reoccurring upon itself because I have two R's in my middle name. E is expressed, and then D is through, either through or stopped at, because ED means done. So my name is truth, junction as referenced and done. So the truth and what it is, because it's jarred, the truth, jarred or bottled up into. And then Alexander, A as in before, when you say it, when you're reading from left to right, when you put A in front of something, like long ago, atop the whatever, when you say ahead, it's like coming before where you're heading, like ahead. So when you say Alexander, you would say Lex, as it lies, and then an E, expressing the center with an X, and then A, active, N, nature, D, through Daya, that doorway, energy, reoccurring. So my name is the truth, bottled up or jarred inside, someone who came before the light and the word, because Ander is like the word and, someone who says and comes along with something, and one who has ER on the end of it is expressing that reference. It's I'm an ander. I'm before the word, and I'm expressing about it. And my first name is the truth. My middle name is bottled up or contained in, jarred. And then the last name is before the light and word. And D, ander, what people say. Not the answer, the ander. Not what subjected and not what everybody else always knew with the W. WW is like two V's or two U's, and it means like vitally, or who, what, when, where, why, or which. And then it could also mean like W can be two U's as in a unit, a unanimous unit. Like we agree, because that means me and you. If I was sitting with a book, I could say, me and this book here, we like having a good time. If I wanted to personalize it, I could say, when I whistle, it's because I'm using my person to create a vital activity. It's something like that. When I say my voice, it's just my voice. But when I whistle, I'm doing something vital with my voice. So I'm going, so I'm the vital person doing what I'm doing. And that's where that sound's coming from. From someone else to me, it's a vital. From just me, or for me just referencing them, it's a vital. Like you have, a nice voice. And then I would say, we can sing together with our voices, because that's the way words work. They always have, they always will, and I'm right smack dab in the middle of the world I created, remembering it as a human being and being tormented for it because everybody else has been speaking wrong and acting wrong. And they're only stuck in the third dimensional world where they have no idea what they're talking about, but they want to. And because they want to, I'm not mad at them. I'm just trying to say, hey, dude, please stop walking around telling people you're just Jesus and you've done, and everything you say about it is something that's in the Bible that you've been reading. So you're believing it because you've read it so many times, it's become part of your mind. Or you've read it and thought about it and had it instilled in your mind, and it resonates with your name. And it does. This guy, if I told you his name, it would make a lot of sense. But I'm not going to worry about it because I'm not trying to put anybody down or bring anything into it, because what I'm telling people is deep and as wild and as weird and unique as it sounds. If you just paid attention, you'd understand it's real. And you'd understand that I'm doing it because I love you. And you understand that I'm doing it no matter who you are, how foul your life has been, whether you're the krill in the ocean or whether you're a space alien and all the human beings, light beings, and everything between. I am here to save your souls. That's what I'm here for, as this human being. So there's nothing else that I should be doing. And anyone who tells me I should be doing something else, they themselves are insane. Because if they think living in a world that's politicized, where you have to do all kinds of stuff that other people tell you that's against your free will, then you're just downright crazy. And you're the mad people. You're the mad men and mad women, because you refuse to do the true thing, and that would be living your own choices in your own life without other people making you. If other people are going outright crazy and wild because there's no laws, well then guess what? You'll have to deal with that, because truly they would have the freedom and the honest to God right to do that because they're alive. Just like a wild animal running around, they have the right to be out there. We don't have the divine right to kill them. We don't. We can do it. Cain slew Abel, but we shouldn't. And when we die, we realize why we shouldn't. So anyway, until next time, God bless.